Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to dive into some seriously unbelievable animal abilities?
Always.
Yeah, so like we do every week, we got our source stock here, chock full of crazy animal facts, things you'd never even think to question, but when you hear them, it's like, no way, really.
Right. And this week's doc is a good one, too. A lot of stuff in here I'd never even heard of.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, did you know octopuses have 3 hearts?
Wait, three.
3, that's what it says right here.
Wow, that's wild. I guess that makes sense, though. Two for the gills and one for the body.
That's right.
Oh, and here's another crazy thing. The heart for the body doesn't beat when they swim.
That's wild. I mean,
Yeah.
can you imagine, like, holding your breath every time you went for a run?
Right. And they're so active, too. All those arms just flailing around.
Yeah, I guess that's why they like to crawl around on the seafloor so much.
Makes sense. Less exhausting.
Speaking of crazy adaptations, how about an animal that's practically immortal?
Wait, really?
Totally. You've heard of the immortal jellyfish, right?
Yeah. I think so, but remind me.
Yeah. So apparently they can, like, reverse their aging process.
You're kidding?
Nope. The Turritopsis dohrnii, that's the Latin name, can basically revert back to a younger version of itself after it matures.
So, like, they become adults and then just decide, nah, I want to be a kid again.
Pretty much. It's called transdifferentiation.
Wow, I mean, that's got to have some serious implications for research on aging, right?
I know, right? Like, what if we could figure out how they do that?
No kidding.
Okay, ready for another one? How about pigeons?
What about,
You know how they're, like, everywhere, and they always seem to know where they're going.
Yeah, they're like feathered little GPS units.
So it turns out that's not too far off. They can actually sense the Earth's magnetic fields. It's like
Whoa.
they have a built-in compass.
Really? How do they do that?
Apparently, they have these special cells in their beaks. They contain iron oxide, and that lets them pick up on those magnetic fields.
Wow, and they use that to navigate.
Yeah. Over incredibly long distances, too. Imagine flying thousands of miles without getting lost.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing. Scientists are still trying to figure out exactly how it works, but they think it could have some applications in our own navigation technology.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, imagine a GPS that never loses signal.
Right. Or maybe even something that could help us navigate in, like, really remote areas where GPS isn't reliable.
No kidding.
Okay, on to another super smart creature, dolphins.
Oh, yeah, love dolphins.
Me too. Did you know they actually use whistles as names for each other?
Seriously, like
Yeah.
each dolphin has its own whistle.
Yep. That's how they identify themselves within their pods.
So it's kind of like how we call each other by name.
Exactly. And it shows just how complex their social structure is.
I mean, they're already known for being intelligent, but that takes it to a whole other level.
It's like they have their own language and culture.
So cool.
Okay, now let's talk about a real speed demon, the hummingbird.
Oh, yeah, those tiny little guys.
They're so tiny, but did you know their hearts can beat up to like 1,200 times a minute?
Wait a minute, 1,200. Seriously?
Seriously, it's insane, right? That's why they can hover and fly backwards and do all those crazy aerial maneuvers.
Wow, imagine having a heart that beats that fast. You'd be like a hummingbird, just buzzing around all the time.
Huh, I know, right?
What?
It takes a ton of energy to power that kind of flight, so they're constantly eating too.
Yeah, they're like little flying sugar fiends.
Exactly.
So, we've talked about a lot of cool abilities so far, but what about regeneration?
Oh yeah, like how some lizards can regrow their tails.
Yeah, but think even more extreme. Have you heard of the axolotl?
Is that the salamander that can regrow its limbs?
That's the one. But it goes even further. They can regrow parts of their heart, their spinal cord, even parts of their brain.
What? Are you serious?
Yep, they're like the superheroes of the animal kingdom when it comes to healing.
I mean, can you imagine the possibilities if we could figure out how they do that?
Right. It could be revolutionary for treating injuries, spinal cord damage, even brain injuries.
It's mind-blowing. Okay, on to another animal with a pretty legendary reputation, the elephant.
Ah, elephants.
You know the saying, an elephant never forgets.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, it turns out that's not just a saying. Their memories are seriously impressive.
Really? How so?
They can remember locations, other elephants, even threats for decades.
Wow, so that saying is actually true.
It is. They use their memory for everything. Navigating their territory, maintaining social hierarchies, remembering food sources. It's crucial for their survival.
I bet their memories are filled with so many stories.
Yeah, and we'll probably never know most of them. Okay, are you ready for another crazy one?
Hit me with it.
Some frogs can survive being frozen solid.
Frozen solid, as in, like, A block of ice.
Yep. Like the wood frog, for example, they basically freeze their bodies during the winter and then thaw out again in the spring.
How is that even possible?
It's a process called cryopreservation, and they actually accumulate glucose in their vital organs.
So the glucose acts like antifreeze.
Exactly. Scientists are studying this process because it could have huge implications for preserving human organs for transplantation or even for, like, cryogenics.
Wow, nature is seriously incredible. It's like it has a solution for everything.
I know, right? Okay, one last brain teaser for you. Crows.
Crows, those like blackbirds that hang out in parking lots.
Yep, those ones. They're way smarter than people give them credit for. They can solve complex problems, use tools, and even, get this, recognize human faces.
No way, they recognize faces.
Yep, and not only that, they can share that information with other crows. It's like they have their own little social network warning each other about who to avoid.
That's crazy. It's like they have their own intelligence network.
It really shows how complex their social structures are.
Definitely.
And finally, we're wrapping up with sloths.
Yes, the slow motion kings.
But did you know that their fur actually houses a secret weapon?
Really? What is it?
It's got all these different types of fungi growing in it. And some of these fungi have shown potential for fighting diseases like cancer.
So they're like walking medicine cabinets.
Pretty much. It's amazing how much potential there is in the natural world for new medicines and treatments.
Totally agree. It makes you wonder what else is out there just waiting to be discovered.
I know, right? So out of all that, what was the most mind-blowing fact for you?
It's hard to pick just one, but I think the thing that really sticks with me is the reminder that we're all connected.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like from the tiniest hummingbird to the largest elephant, every species has its own unique role to play. And by learning about their amazing abilities, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the diversity of life and maybe even find solutions to some of our own challenges.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you next time for more amazing discoveries from the natural world.
See you next time.
Please subscribe to Peter Bean for more videos.